Good Saturday morning, Looney Tunes fans. It is I, Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes Critic, the only Looney Tunes Critic. And, I mean, I'm not the only critic of Looney Tunes out there, but I am the only critic of Looney Tunes out there bold enough to appoint myself, self-appoint myself, appoint myself, the Looney Tunes Critic. And this is Gorilla My Dreams, a cartoon that takes its title from that expression, "Girl of My Dreams." This was a request from Andrew Castellanos. So, hope you enjoy, Andrew. Thank you for being so patient. Let's see. This is a McKimson cartoon, and he's reading Esquire, which I don't know if it's really. I don't know if people really know that Esquire was kind of an adult magazine back then. And what I mean to say is it's not like Playboy or anything or Hustler, but it's, it's definitely for adult reading, and so that there was some, it was kind of setting Bugs up to be the baby in this cartoon. There was a point, there was kind of a subtle foreshadowing, really, to having him depicted doing something that's very adult. And speaking of adult, I mean, this cartoon, they played it on TV, on Cartoon Network and stuff like that, and Nickelodeon and ABC and stuff, but you really do, to fully appreciate everything that this cartoon is talking about and the places it's coming from, you do kind of have to be an adult. Especially a parent, it helps. And this lady, by the way, the name of these, the married apes here, she's Mrs. Gruesome, and of course, the other one is Mr. Gruesome. And I think that's just because Bugs, there's a line of, Tarzan joke. I think there's a line of dialogue at some point where Bugs calls him gruesome. A lot of people confuse this cartoon for a cartoon that came out almost 10 years later called Apes of Wrath. Because it was you could say it was remade. There are some subtle differences, but it's ultimately the same cartoon. And also there's, you see, Bugs adrift at the beginning in the ocean. There's a couple cartoons where he does, where he's out there. So maybe, who knows, there's a thought, a modicum of thought devoted to continuity. Because he did it in Robinson Crusoe, which was 56, which was like 5 or 6 years later. I don't know. The look of the characters in this one, especially Bugs, and around this time, I love that. It's a great reveal. It's a good comedy thing, the reveal of just going for a wide shot and seeing that somebody's been dressed differently and absurdly. There's got to be a name for it. I don't know what it could be, but I love how his hand comes towards the lens, what would be the lens, towards the camera. Also, when Bugs hops up on the door here like an ape, they do that a lot in these Looney Tunes cartoons. Whenever the characters are either apes or intimidating apes, they do something where they bang their bottom feet while hanging off of something twice. There was a Sylvester cartoon I did a commentary for not too long ago that did that. I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic. I was talking about the look here. That's some great animation. Actually, I think that animation is John Carey. John Carey did not get credit for this cartoon. The look of it is, you don't necessarily think of McKimson necessarily, because the styles that we associate typically with the art styles that one associates typically with McKimson, they hadn't really come out yet. One of the big things is the lower jaw thing that he was doing around this time. He was doing it with Daffy. Daffy had a big, sausage-like head and long, elongated beak, like in Pride's Pest. But Bugs did have. I guess this is that era where Bugs had a lower jaw, but it got bigger. And then, of course, the other style that we remember from McKimson, the art style, was he kind of get ready, guys. Here comes a pun, an intended pun. He kind of aped Chuck Jones's style. You see what I do? Do you see? I inform and entertain. No, but he kind of aped Chuck's style a little bit in that he took the half-closed eyes, the tune-toed eyes that we now see in everything, like, Tangled and all this stuff. A lot of those odd eye shapes, those too cool for school eye shapes that Jones was getting a lot of use out of. McKimson did kind of incorporate them in his own style too, but what can you do? Look at this. That's something else that this cartoon should get more credit for, because in my early years, I remember thinking this, confusing this with a Tashlin cartoon because of all of the tricks that they were doing with the background, with the camera movements and going in one direction through the woods, and then you turn around, and then she goes up on a side, and then they change. It's just, all the experimentation with camera movement, it's early on you learn that was a very Tashlin-esque thing, but of course, by this point, Tashlin was gone. Tashlin was a actual film director rather than just a cartoon director, lowly cartoon director. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Thank you.